Hello, everyone, and welcome to Farming Simulator 25. The game is finally here, and I have been waiting for it for 2 weeks now. And I'm so much excited to be here and working on this ultimate beginner level series on Farming Simulator 25. I have played Farming Simulator 17, 19, and even 22 quite a lot. So I know a little bit about Farming Simulator, and I think I can share my information and knowledge with you guys. This series is made in the intention that you have no knowledge of Farming Simulator, or you have very little knowledge of Farming Simulator, or if you're returning to Farming Simulator game, this will be your guide for that. But if you know something about Farming Simulator, then make sure to leave your suggestion in the comment section below to help out your fellow viewers. I am very excited to be here. I have played this game a little bit. I did 2 hours of stream on it as well, and I played it a little bit more. We are gonna follow along. We are gonna play it. I know a lot of the stuff that is already in Farming Simulator previous games, but for you, I'm not going to reference back to other games. The reason is that, for example, let's say if Farming Simulator 25 is your first game, I don't want to confuse you with 22 or 19 or 17 like that. So I'm not going to use the phrases like, oh, this was in the previous game and you should know, etc. No. If you know nothing about Farming Simulator, then you should be able to follow along. All right. So what we are going to do is we are going to click on the career there and then find an empty slot in this menu. I am on my PC, so my controls are going to be more toward people who are playing on keyboard and mouse, but you should be able to follow along easily because there are help menus available for all of your controls and everything. So don't worry, this is going to be easy for you as well. So what we will do is after selecting career, we have a lot of empty slots. On PC, we have 20 empty slots. I think on consoles, it's like 10, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, you can double click on any empty slot to select it, or you can just click on continue, click on this, or you can press enter to continue. So I'm gonna double click here. We are gonna go with the Riverbend Springs. This is where you will see all of your maps. So for example, currently the base game has only 3 maps and we can select between them, whichever we want to continue. I'm going to continue on Riverbend Springs, and there will be no mods whatsoever in this series to make sure that anyone can follow along. Okay. The next menu is preset menu, which is basically how you actually start your farm. So currently we are new farmer. We can also select farm manager, which basically gives you $1 million, no loan, economic difficulty is normal, and you do not have any starting farm and you do not have any like intro to it. This is not really affecting your gameplay. This is just for the new people who want to get an introduction when they join the game. All right, the next one is start from scratch. This is where you will see a lot of tutorial take place after the game is a little bit old. You will see a lot of people play and start from scratch. You have starting money 500,000 by default. You have a loan of 250,000. Difficulty is hard, and you do not start with farm and you do not start with any tours, etc. The difference between these two is you start with less money, you have some loan, and you have hard difficulty. This one, you start with $1 million, but remember that you do not have any farm, house, fields, or any equipment or anything. So this $1 million, you will need to utilize it to buy every single equipment. Personally, I prefer to play on start from scratch. That is my thing. But we're gonna do those series later on, and we are gonna do a series on start from scratch with zero money. That's gonna be coming out soon. The another series is going to be more of a tutorial, research, and testing based series where we will be testing each craft, industry, forestry, like animals, etc., and see which one is profitable, which one is not, how the game affect different things, etc. So here we will select new farmer. This helps us get started with already owned piece of land, so we don't have to buy it, and it also start us with equipment as well, so we don't have to buy any harvester, tractors, seeders, or cultivators. So it's a lot easier to start on this one, and the difficulty is also on easy. And I would recommend that if you are new, make sure you select this option just to get familiar with the game. Again, you have all of the customization available. You can select new farmer and say that I don't want any farm. It is possible by default. It is this. I'm turning off the guide tour, and the reason for that is I did another video just before this, but the gameplay between my knowledge and my explanation and the game tutorial was really like conflicting with each other in a sense that I wanted to explain something, but the tutorial will not let me do that. So I'm turning that up, and we're gonna start with a little bit more money. The reason for this selection only is that so that I have a little bit more money if I want to buy something or lease something. I don't want to wait for my crops to grow so that I can sell them, etc. Again, that will be a huge focus as well. We will know how to make money with different stuff. We will explore all of the industries, different crop types, animals, forestry, and greenhouses, and everything slowly. But I'm going to start with a little bit more money just in case if I have to buy something and explain it, I have a little bit of money. We're not going to get any loan, and we will start with easy, and our start from will be selected as well. So once you have all of these selected, you can press on enter, or you can click this continue button here. You will be presented with this menu. Depending on if you have any mods installed or downloaded, you will see them here. So any DLC content or any mods will appear here. There were a few mods already available for the game, so I had downloaded them. But what I will do is deselect every one of them. So you can select all, deselect all. You can double click on one to select it, or you can double click on selected one to deselect it. We are not gonna start with any, so we're gonna be 0 out of 4. That means this series is not modded at all. This is gonna be a complete vanilla with no autoloaders or anything like that, so that the people who want to play it a little bit more realistic can follow along as well. And then you can press on enter or select here, and you will start. All right, so you will be presented with this loading menu. I waited a little bit, so it's 100% completed. It's gonna start from 0. The game loads quite decently fast, so don't worry. The game name, that's my game save. I didn't change that, so that's the game name. This is the map name that you have selected, your starting money, and how much time you have already played on it. If you are stuck on this screen, make sure to click here start or press enter to actually start the game. Once you click start there, you will be presented with your character menu where you can customize your character however you want. I don't want to waste too much time on this, but basically you have the option to select your tone and color. Then you have the option to change your hairstyle, beard, and then clothes. If you have an outfit selected like this one, you won't have these two options available because you're already wearing an outfit. But if you select, let's say, a normal clothes, you will have the option to customize that as well. We are going to start with this one. I think that's a more of a farmer look. So we're going to start with that. You can also change your name, but if you don't see anything related to change name here, that means you are in the wrong menu. So what you need to do is select that first icon there, and then you will be able to change your name as well. So for me, it is Phantom here. I can change it to whatever I want and press on change, and it will change that. Obviously, I don't want that, so I'm going to change it back to Phantom. There we go. All right, so that is now selected. There is a little bit of bug, like for example, when you hold here, you can actually uh, turn your character around to look at different angles. But when you click on change name, then you change it. Even though you have not really selected it, the menu is still selected. So hopefully they fix it very soon. Anyway, once you have customized your character, click on confirm, and you will start with the game. There we go. If you are on the tutorial based game, you will see some tutorials and everything going on. I have not selected those. All right, so here we are. What I'm going to give you a little bit of information. So basically, you can click on WASD to go forward, backward, left, and right with WS and AD. When you are moving forward, you can click on shift or hold on shift. That will make you go faster. The same goes with backward and like sideways. So if you want to run, you can actually click on shift to run. The next big thing is in this game is the third person view. Now we have the option to get a third person view of our character as well, and you can use the game normally. So they have added the third person view to the character. All right, next thing that you can do to help yourself is press F1 and keyboard. That will bring up that help menu on the top left corner. That is very useful for all of the new people who don't know the controls too much, because it gives you a few options. So depending on where you are, it will help you get the controls of that. So for example, if you are in tractor and you turn that menu on, you will actually see all of the control, how to start, how to lower an equipment, how to do all of that good stuff. So that's very useful. Another useful thing is the selection of map. So if you will start by default with the circular one. The difference between these are the circular one is actually you could say a dynamic. It rotates with you. So for example, if I'm looking this way, the it's gonna rotate that way. If I'm looking this way, it's gonna rotate to this way. So it really changes with you where you are looking. Then there is the square one, which does not really look around. You can just look around, but it's only going to change your character screen and not the map itself. This is basically locked to a north and south position, basically. The other one is you can press on 9 again to make it larger to see a little bit more detail, but I think that's a little bit too distracting to play with it. You can also press 9 again to make it disappear, but I'm gonna play with this one. The icon that you see there on the wheel there, uh, that is actually your north position. So basically, north is this way. We are currently looking north. Another icon that you see in your character is that in the mini map, you can actually see the white triangular shape. That is your character and where you are looking. All right, so that is basically that. Another element here is the menu icons on the top right corner, and those are basically the first icon is your weather. So currently it is sunny, so you have the sun icon. It will change to clouds or rain depending on where whether it is. The next to that is your month. So currently we start with August. In Farming Simulator, your starting month is always August. Um, and then because I have 1 day per month selected and the option by default, I am only saying August. But if you have, let's say, change your setting to 2 days per month, you will see August 1 and August 2, depending on which day you are on. What this means is, for example, if I have 1 day selected per month, if this day passes, so for example, currently it's morning, and if get night time, and the next day is going to be September. So that is basically 1 month per day. If you have 2 days per month, that means that you will have 2 days for each month. And that is why you will see August 1 and August 2 based on that. The next icon for that is your clock that tells you your time, which time is currently selected, and there what time it is currently, and it's at 30 in the morning. Then you have the speed of the game, which is currently 5. So that means the game is running 5 times faster than your real life. So for example, if 1 minute passes in real life, it will be 5 minutes in the game because we are running 5 times. You can actually change that by pressing 7 and 8 on your keyboard. You can go all the way to zero point 0.5. So that means you are running on half of the time. You can go on 1. So that will be 1 day in game, 1 day in real life. You can go all the way to, I think, 360. That means the time is going to go way faster. That also glitches out the game a little bit more because this is not really optimized. So I usually play on 5 times speed. I think that's a good amount of time to spend per month, basically. I think that's very good. Next is your money, how much money you currently have. We started with 250, and that is there. Another menu that usually appear in the game but is not currently here is information menu, which basically tells you some information. So for example, if I come to a field, and you can see in the bottom corner, in the right bottom corner, I have this field information. So if I look at it, it tells me the field name, basically farmland 4 is basically the field number 4. You can also see that in the minimap. Then who owns it? So currently this one is owned by us because we start with the farmland, and then it is 0% fertilized and it needs lime. This actually changes depending on what you are doing. So if you are looking at an equipment, let's say, currently you are looking at this combine, Massey 8570, and you can see it tells you the name, Massey Ferguson 8570, owned by you. And then it tells you how many liter diesel it can hold and how much damage it is. And all of this is what you start with in the new farmer map, in the new farmer preset. But if you start with, let's say, farm manager and you deselect the farm land, you will not have any of these. So you will start with nothing, not even this farm, not even the fields and everything. Fields and everything will be there, but it will not be by you. So as we saw that this one says that this is owned by us, you will not start with that. And you can actually see all of that information if you click on escape, and then you come to this first icon, the map icon. You will see all of your crop types that are currently available on this map. So you can select, like, let's say you can deselect the wheat, and you will see how many fields have wheat, how many fields have barley, how many fields have canola, etc. Right? Then you can go to growth, and that will tell you which stage each field is. Even if you own it or not, you will still see all of that information. So most of them are like ready to harvest and growing. And you can also see that one is harvested and that one is plowed right there. You can also see some up there as well. The next menu is basically soil composition. It tells you a little bit more information about your field. So, for example, some of these field here have weed going on. As you can see, at the early stages of the weed going on here, this one has a little bit more. If you disable the weed filter, you will see that all of them change color to the other stuff. So all of these have weeds going on. The next one is fertilize, and that tells you the stage of the fertilization. You can see there are two colors, a light blue and blue. The light blue mean that the field is 50% fertilized or half fertilized. The dark blue mean that it's fully fertilized, 100%. The next one is need lime, and you will see that there are a few fields here. So all of these down here, and that one needs lime. And if you disable one filter, the other one is going to disappear. So in this case, we can see that this field need lime, but it's also 50% fertilized. The next one is need rolling. Again, there are no current one that have any need for rolling, but yeah, mud. And then we have some stone as well. If the field is recently plowed, then you will see stone. And if it is water, that is probably for the rice, which is a crop type that we will explore in the future. Next filter as hotspot. This basically tells you a little bit more information about the map, the tools, equipment, etc. that you own. It will show on the map as well, like this. You can actually see all of that. It also tells you a little bit about tip stations and all of different icons, and you can see the description. So basically, all of this type of icon that you see there mean that there is a place where you can tip the crops. So it's either a selling point or it's either a silo or something. The next one is a loading, and that means you can load your trailers or something from there. So this one is a lime station. So if you go there and bring a trailer or the lime spreader, you will be actually able to fill that from there. And you can also see the same icon for the gas as well, or the petrol. Next one is production. These are all of the factories that you can work with. So this one is a cement factory. The same goes with this one. This one is a grain mill, etc. Then you have animals. If there is animals on the map, you will see it here. We have our cow pasture here, and there are a few other stuff going on here as well. The next one is contract. If there are active contracts, you will see them here, and you can deselect and select that to see it easily. The other ones will show you your farmhouse and different NPCs. So basically, this is our farmhouse. That is Walter. We will talk to him soon. That's basically our grandfather as well for this farm. Then you have the farmland, and this is where you can see how much you own the piece of land. So, for example, this green color, as you can see, it says my farm. So all of this is our farm here. So this field number 1, I don't know why it's called 1 when there is no field there, but there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all of this is ours. Currently selected will, if you select a field like that, it's a bit dark green color, and you can actually see that. And then the remaining one is unowned. The color doesn't really match that, but if you zoom out a little bit, you can see that there is all of this color here, this darkish type of color. You can actually see that that is all of the area that you can possibly own, but outside of that, like this color here, you cannot own anything. So that is why it says unowned. And then you can create job, etc. All of these we will explore in the future. The next menu is your crop calendar. This basically tells you which month you are in, and if it is a time for a specific plant seeding or not. We are currently in August. This color mean that this is a planting season, so that specific crop can be planted. This color mean that that specific plant can be harvested. So in July and August, you can harvest wheat, and you can sow it in September and October, basically. And it is different for each type of crops. You will see as you go through that. So, for example, if you select, let's say, grass, you can see that most of it is okay to plant and all of it is okay to harvest. So, for example, if you're in December, you won't be able to plant grass. And then you also have your weather information here as well. So, currently it's August at 29 degrees, wind speed and direction, and then it tells you at 9 a.m., 11, 1 p.m., or 13 if you use that clock. So, you can tell that it's going to be cloudy after 19, and there is also expected rain tomorrow in the next month, basically November. Not in the next month, but like in November. And then it seems like we will have snow as well in December. And all of these icons will actually reflect on your main menu. Then you have your animals. We have a cow pasture on our farm, so we'll explore that. You have some contracts that you can select and accept, and then you will see all of the active ones here. The next one is all of the production chains that are available. Remember that these are not owned. If you own a production chain, you will have to go to the owned section to see it. And then you have all of your statistics and everything going on here. So for all of the prices, so for example, if you want to check, let's say, remember that these are actually ordered and correct based on the alphabetic order. It's not based on how you see it in here. Basically, if we go here, this is not alphabetic order, but here they are in alphabetic order. So if you want to find wheat, you need to go to W, which is, if I remember correctly, my alphabet, it's here. And you can see a little bit information on wheat. So these are all of the selling points available. These are the distances, whether you can buy or not, whether you can sell or not. We can sell at all of these uh, places for these different prices. The green arrow upward mean that the price is increasing. The red arrow downward mean that the price is decreasing. And this tell you basically this is expectations of forecasting. Basically, this is not a fixed price. So, for example, we are currently in at 119, but if you look at that, we are also somewhere in 795. So this is basically kind of average. That means in January we will see the highest prices. Again, this is forecasting. Not important that it's going to be the highest in January. You might say highest price in December. This is just a forecast. Next is your vehicle menu. All of the vehicle that you own will be here. One thing that I would have preferred is if there was like a category list as well, because for the new farming simulator people who are new to the farming simulator, it will be a little bit harder for them to identify what each tool and what each equipment is. So, for example, if they look at this, they might not know it properly that it's a seeder. So if there was a category for that, that would have been really nice. Then we have any hand tool. If you own any like chains or something, it will appear here. Your finances, what happens in each month. As you can see in August, we have all of it zero, but we have met 54 from property income. We will explore all of that later. And then you have your game statistic, how much you have spread, etc., tree planted, and whatever. All of your detail you will see here, including your time played. And that is basically that menu. And then you can go to your setting to save your game. Then you can go to the game setting to change some of the game settings. So your auto save interval, your time first, you can change the game name, you can pause the game. And all of these options are available here. As we discussed, days per month, you can change from here. You can go from 1 to 28 days there. So you can change your days from here. You can have seasonal growth. This basically means that the calendar that we saw is because of this. If you turn this off, you can sow and plant and harvest in any season that you want and any month that you want. Fixed visual month would basically does not change the visuals of everything. So the tree color and whatnot, you can turn on snow, turn that off. Here are also some of the options that you would be interested in. If the crop destruction is on, it means that if you go to a field and tractor and it has some plants on it, it will actually destroy them. So the tires will actually destroy your crop. So that is the crop destruction. We will have that on. Periodic plow mean that you will have periodically your fields will need to be plowed, which is I think three after three harvests you will need to plow that. We will turn that on just so that we can go through all of these. Fieldstone mean that usually when you do a plow, you will see some fieldstone. You will be able to remove that. If you turn it off, it will be off. You will not see any fieldstone. And this also kind of affects your equipment in the sense that if there are fieldstone in a field and you are working on it, your equipment are most likely going to be damaged more. Then lime and weeds, etc. You can turn that on and off, and you can go through all of these options that are very straightforward. Next is your general settings that you have going on, so you can change your units, you can change everything from here, turn off the radio, etc. And then you have control. So if you don't know which key is used for what, you can come here and see all of the options here. And these are basically all three of these. So game setting, general setting, and control. Next is your help menu. So this gives you all of the option and all of the help on everything. You see crops, etc., arable farming, etc., cultivating. It gives you all of that information. And next is your quit game if you want to quit. And this is your help basically. The tips that you see usually on the loading screen, you can scroll through them here. And that was basically all of the UI elements and help settings, etc. We still have a few things that are related to UI elements that I want to explore in this episode as well. So we are gonna go to, let's say, a tractor here. Just wanted to get that out of the way as well. Tomorrow in the next episode, we will actually go through all of these detail here. So when you enter your equipment or your tractor or any vehicle, it will automatically start. You can change that in your game settings. You can come here and it says automatic engine start and off. I usually leave it on off because I don't want to get into the vehicle and it automatically turn on. But more importantly, I don't want to leave when it turns off. So I leave it at off. That means I have to manually start and stop the engine. Next one is your stop and go braking. I usually leave that on, and you can explore all of the options here. So when you are here, you can actually press enter to start or stop the tractor, and again it will all be visible in your F1 menu basically. All right. The one thing that I wanted to give you regarding the UI element that will be really useful, you can see that we have a tractor icon and then the equipment next to it. That is basically this here, this cultivator is selected basically. That means that selected that one. And I can lower it down and you will see the icon slightly changes. And if I lift it up, the icon slightly left there as well. Then I can press on enter to turn off the tractor. And if you have an equipment that is selected, it will be white color. If you have it lowered or lifted, you will see the icon changes a little bit. But if there is an equipment that needs to be turned on for it to work, like for example, the seeder that we have here, in order to use this, you will have to lower it down, but you also have to turn it on to start working. And for that, the white icon will change to green. And if it is a green, that means the equipment is turned on. So these are basically all of the UI elements, and then all of the icon that you will see throughout the map is really here. You can go next to it. So for example, this one is where you will put water for your animals here and all of these icons, and you can go through them. It will actually tells you what to do. So for example, like if I want to activate it, I can go close to it and it will say R to activate it. So this is basically my animal menu. So yeah, all of this is here basically, and you can explore your game a little bit. I hope that this was fair bit of information. Before we do anything with the farm and everything, I wanted to release a video on just the UI elements and the settings of the game, so that when we are doing the next episode, that is going to be our actual farming and taking care of our fields, is going to be a little bit important. I don't know, I actually didn't say this, but let's explore our field as well a little bit here. So when we started the game, we selected that we want to start with the farmland. And if we go to our farmland here, You can select a piece of land and you can buy it. It will tell you how much price it is and what is the size of it. Or if you already own it, you can actually sell it if you want to, or how much is also there. The next thing that I wanted to show you is this is the piece of land that we own. So this is basically ours. We can do everything here. We can plant trees, plants, put some, you know, buildings like pastures and everything here. So I hope this was a helpful video. Let me know in the comment section below if this video has helped anyone, and also leave your feedback in the comment as well. And if you are here, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. It really helps me and keep me motivated to release more content. I would really appreciate if you guys can support me and spread the word. And I would love to push some more content on Farming Simulator as well as other game, including Minecraft and some other games as well. I also want to highlight that I have another channel. I will leave the link in the description below, where I will be streaming as well most of my stuff. I wanted to do that on Twitch, but I think I will stick to YouTube. Let me know if you would like to watch stream on Twitch or YouTube, but I think I will stick to YouTube. So most of the stuff that I do off camera will be actually streamed live. So currently we will keep everything in episode wise for this series here. But let's say if I'm in a huge field, I don't know if this map is any huge field. Like for example, let's say 24, and we are taking care of that, and it's gonna be a lot of cuts and feeds, etc. In the episode, I would probably do a stream on it, and it will be available on the second channel, and then also include a few highlights in the episode. And I am planning on making a lot of streams and content also on Minecraft as well. So if you're interested in that kind of content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and stay updated. Thank you so much for your support. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.